Okay, folks, so I got a request to make a video on a pretty interesting subject, and I'm just gonna read what the comment says and then I'll talk about it a bit. The comment says, could you please do a video about friends who are the opposite sex? I have been having trouble with my fiance talking with females. I am trying not to be controlling and petty. It gets very difficult when I feel a woman gets close to him. He loves me and I know nothing's going on, but when this happens, it freaks me out. It makes me uncomfortable and anxious and nervous. I'm trying to let things be, and that kind of general idea. It's an interesting topic because I've heard a lot of different sides about it, and it's kind of multi-layered. One of the biggest, the simple way to look at it, if you just break it down into first layer, is this idea of you're with somebody and then you get jealous that they're talking to somebody else, right? Because you think, well, what about me? You think like, well, you like them more than me? What's wrong with me, right? So it's kind of like it's an ego thing, right? Jealousy, it's like an attack against your ego because you're thinking to yourself, well, maybe this person's better than me. They have something that I don't have. So it's really a hit on your ego, right? So that's the obvious way of looking at it, right? So once you get past that, because yes, like in that sort of simplistic way, it is a sort of a very fearful thought about like maybe somebody's better than me, but there's this other side to it that goes deeper than that, and this idea of so we think the most precious thing we can give somebody is love, or some people might even call it unconditional love. That sounds really nice, right? Well, the way I look at that is it's not special to give someone unconditional love or love. It's because you should give love to everybody, period. It's not that special. You should just love everybody. Why would you hate somebody, right? Because even if they do bad things or whatever you want to call them, I mean, we all are what we are, right? So this idea is, well, yeah, people do bad things. What if your kid was doing bad things? You just stop loving him, right? Other people in the world, they're just kids also, right? So imagine like if you had kids and they were doing quote unquote bad things, would you stop loving them? Well, no, you wouldn't. So we're all kids living in this earth, right? So the idea of loving somebody it's not that special. We should all just love one another, right? So the most precious thing you can give somebody is not love, because that should just be a given, but time. So that's the real issue. It's time, right? Because let's say I love somebody and I'm with them, and let's say we have an open relationship and I'm just like, because you think you're evolved and you think to yourself, well, like if I love you, why would I want to take joy away from you? Because, if you go out somewhere and you meet somebody and you want to have sex with them because it makes you happy and that brought joy into your life, why would I want to take that away from you, right? You think you're evolved. Wow, you're above this whole jealousy thing, right? You don't want to constrain somebody. You want them to just find happiness anywhere they want. But the issue is time, right? Let's say I'm in an open relationship with somebody. I'm not jealous of them. Go have sex with whoever you want, have fun, do whatever you want with anybody. I just want you to be happy. But the problem is, what if you just need them for something? You need them to be around. How much time can they give to you, and what sort of priority are you in their life? Because if you don't give someone your time, then that's the problem there. Because so this idea of like, oh, what do I do about the fact that my boyfriend has a lot of girlfriends and it makes me jealous, and I'm trying to not to be petty. What you're really concerned about is time at the deepest level. the initial instinct could be a jealousy, and it could, because it's like a hit to your ego, right? Because it's like, well, what does he see in his girls? Why does he like them so much and not me? It has nothing to do with you, right? So you got over that. But then even if you get over that, and this idea of getting over jealousy, well, it's just a matter of you can look at it in a way where you can actually understand it's just like a thing about your ego because you think you're not good enough, right? Because if somebody wants to spend time with someone else and not you, your natural instinct is like, well, why them and not me? Am I just not good enough? So if you can get over that part and just understand that it's not about you, just because someone wants to spend time with someone else doesn't mean you're worthless and you're not good enough. Then it's the idea of time. So even if you're not jealous and you're like, listen, I get it that you want to spend time with these other girls, but how much time are you dedicating to me? So that's what really comes down to. So it really comes down to how much time do you expect from somebody, not how much love do you expect from somebody, because I think love should be freely given, you know? Like I said, we're all children, so you just love people. Now, it doesn't mean you have to be around them if you don't get along with them. Like if you have like a brother or sister that you don't get along with, you love them at a distance and you let them have their life, right? So that's the idea. But if you're with somebody, how much time are you giving each other? Because that's really what you want. Because like I said, what if I wasn't jealous at all and this person I was with was spending a lot of time with other people? Then you start to think, well, how much time are we expecting of each other? So that's what you have to really figure out is how much time do you want from this person? And if you say, well, I want 90% of this person's time. I think that I deserve 90% of your time. Then you have to ask yourself, what is a reasonable limit? Right? Because that's when you get into the idea of possessiveness or attachment to somebody, right? Now, if you're with somebody, do you demand 95% of their time? Do you demand 60% of their time? Do you demand 40% of their time? Or do you only demand 20% of their time or 10? So this is not a game of right and wrong. There is no perfect answer for this. That's why there'll never be a book written on it that has the perfect answer, because it doesn't exist. It just depends on whoever you're with. Remember, the open relationship, closed relationship doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. Your jealousy doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. You're either going to get past the jealousy or you're not. But the bottom line after that is just simply time. You're with somebody. How much of their time do you expect them to give to you? That's what it is. So you sit down with somebody in a room, you have a conversation, you communicate with them, if they're your boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, and you just say, honestly, how much of our time should we give one another and what is a reasonable amount? And that's it. That's really what it comes down to. So the most precious thing in the world is just simply someone else's time. The idea of someone giving you their time is mind-blowing. Think about how amazing that is. Whether someone gives you their time to watch a YouTube video or whether someone gives you their time to hang out with you for a cup of coffee somewhere at a coffee shop or to hang out with you and watch a movie. When you realize that every single human being has the freedom to spend their time any way they want and somehow they're choosing to spend that time with you, that's pretty amazing. Like I said, whether they're watching your video or going on a hike with you, it's crazy that somebody would choose to spend their time with you, right? So that's really one of the greatest gifts you can give somebody, just simply your time. So that's what it really comes down to. So this idea of I'm with somebody and they're spending a lot of time with this other person. It's not about jealousy. It's not about ego. It's just simply about, okay, they're spending time with another person. That's fine. But how much time do I expect them to spend with me? So that's for you to figure out. But it really is at the core of it is just simply Nothing more than just a matter of time. How much of a person's time do you expect them to give to you? And if you have an unreasonable amount, like if you expect someone to give you 95% of the time, then that's something you have to figure out for yourself. Maybe you can find someone out there who also wants to give you 90%, 95% of their time. But you have to find somebody where you both have reasonable expectations. You know, if you meet someone and you both agree, yeah, we should probably only give ourselves 40% of each other's time. Some people might be like, no, let's give each other 95. So find somebody where that number makes sense to you. Otherwise, you will both have a conflict and you'll have resentment towards each other, right? Because you think, why is that person giving so much time to other people? So yeah, time. That's the most precious thing you can give to somebody. And that's pretty much it. So figure that out. And I think the rest should be pretty easy. And that's it. So see you in the next video. Bye.